students, I want to go through your homework with a video. Couple of things. Okay, case 1A is initial hospital care. So the first thing is to make sure you're in the right section of your CPT book. Okay, and with the new rules, we have that once again, if history and examination are appropriate, you go by time or medical decision making. So on these, you are going to go by medical decision making. Okay, so a couple of things. This first one, the answer is going to be 9923 because our medical decision making is going to be at a high level. Let me explain why. So right here we have our diagnosis. They have diabetes, asthma. You didn't have to code those out, but you need those when you're looking at the diagnosis themselves. So the medical decision making includes extensive diagnosis, minimal, there's no data to review. So we don't need to even look at that section. And then we have high risk of death or complication if not treated for level 4. Keep in mind that the ketoacidosis is very serious if left untreated. There would be a high risk of death. The very minimum there is compromises to the brain. The diabetes is the reason for the care the patient receives. The asthma is reported because it's a significant condition. Nausea and vomit are not coded. They're symptoms of the diabetic condition that was reported as the diagnosis. So now let's go to our chart. With the chart, we had extensive diagnosis, which puts us right here. Amount of complexity is minimal or none, and the risk are high. Since we need 2 out of 3 categories, must meet or exceed the elements stated to assign the level, so if extensive and high, we hit the high. Keep in mind, we only need 2. Since we didn't hit the amount of complexity, not a big deal, because we only need 2 out of 3. So then when I look in my initial hospital service codes, which are 99221, 99222, and 99223, we're going to go with the moderate, and that comes up with my code because that's all we're looking at. Just to further expand on that, the reason for the encounter was the abdominal pain, the diabetes. Okay, we went through all that. The abdominal pain is reported rather than the appendicitis. See, appendicitis is rule out. And with outpatient physician coders, we cannot report rule out in outpatient. So some coders might consider the nausea to be an integral part of the abdominal pain. The migraine was not treated, so we do not code it. Okay, last one here. We have that came in for pancreatitis, shortness of breath. The MDM is level 4, high based on the number of diagnosis management options being extensive. The amount of complexity of data are extensive as they did multiple lab results were indicated. They did an echo, was ordered. The doctor independently viewed the chest x-ray and abdominal ultrasound images. So the risk at that point, you got to look at if the patient's condition is left untreated, it's going to be high. So we're looking at here, we have the services provided to the patient at the clinic is bundled into the hospital admission. The diagnosis is as stated. We have pancreatitis, shortness of breath. You can go ahead and code the shortness of breath because it's not really related to the pancreatitis, okay? So with this here, let's go back up here. We do have an extensive amount of diagnosis. We also have extensive amount of data and the risk is high. So this one's easy. We have all 3 are in there, but we only need 2. Remember, we only need 2, but we do have all 3. So this puts us at a high initial hospital care, 99223. Hoping this helps you with your homework going forward. If not, let me know.